Hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Talk Live. I'm Ben Ferguson with my cohort, John Catadella.
Hello.
We are going to bring you lots and lots of good information today. Thank you all for watching us. Thank you, Long Beach. Thank you, Los Angeles, and everywhere else. And Pedro, shout out to Pedro.
And anywhere else I'm missing.
Anywhere else that you're watching, man, you don't understand how much we appreciate it. And if you can hit subscribe to YouTube or to our Instagram, we would love it. So we really do work hard on trying to make this entertaining, and I think today's episode is going to be really good. At least I think so anyway, because it's all about me.
Keep those comments coming, good, bad, whatever. We want to hear them. We want to know.
So we have a phone number, 747-292-0553. Write that down, and I'm going to say it in a few minutes, just because we're going to give a lot of stuff away in the next couple episodes. I want to mention we're having a Halloween episode, and Karina Duffy, she is the real thing. She is a medium, and she's going to come on and talk about her experience. I've already talked to her. She's from Dublin, Ireland. She's going to tell us some really interesting stories, and she's going to do a reading on me live here on the show, which is going to be...
That should be cool,
oh, man. She really is the real
Are you
thing.
into that stuff, the mediums and all that?
Absolutely love it.
I don't know why I'm blanking on the kid's name. He's really, really sharp, snazzy dresser from like Jersey or something.
Facebook. He's the new hit right now.
Yeah, Fraser. Mike Fraser, I think his name is. But anyhow, I mean, I love watching the guy.
Yeah.
I love watching him connect with people and just kind of what it does for the people and the whole healing thing.
When I was in high school, my mom had a friend, and this lady had the biggest house you've ever seen over a cliff looking at the ocean. Didn't need anything. Didn't charge anybody, but she was the deal. And she invited me over, and she just nailed me. I mean, and my brothers, some people have it. Some people, it's real, and some people...
What do you mean she, like, when you say she nailed it, what do you mean? Like,
she told me I was worried about my future and everything, because I was in school, and I just didn't know what to do. And I don't remember the particulars, but I do remember she had mentioned, don't worry about money, you're going to be fine. And I'm like, God, I don't know. Anyway,
thanks.
Everything she said was right, especially with my brother and the lady that he married. He just nailed it. Very, very calm lady. We sat in her living room, and she was amazing. But anyway, my mom passed back in 2014, and I was like as close as one could ever be with their mom. Yeah. And I'm going to talk to her about this. And we'll see.
Be cool, man. See if you connect.
Oh my God!
What?
Very
cool.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. So she's coming out, and she also has done a film, produced a film. So we're going to talk about that film as well. I want to mention that phone number one more time. It's 747-292-0553. The next show, we're going to have merchandise. We're going to have T-shirts, and we're going to have all kinds of fun things, and we're going to give stuff away just for fun, just because I like giving stuff away.
Call that number. You don't know how excited this guy gets.
Yeah,
I mean, please do it. You'll make his day.
Anyway, listen. Today I want to talk about my trip to Brazil. If you guys have seen the movie Meet the Parents with the guy smoking, and chewing nicotine and free, that was me, and I'm going to get into the story.
Yeah, you touched on it a little bit in a previous show, but so this was a few years ago, I'm guessing.
A few years ago, but I want to say a couple things first, because things change a little bit as you get older. You're getting older. You have since I've known you, when I knew you, you weren't even married. Now you're married with 3 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Life changes quick.
You're still 21 inside.
Up here you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Everywhere else you're 12.
Right. 12, and in some places you're a little bit older. But I mean, I wanted to run this by you. I've been doing this study for the past 10 years. And I think I'm ready to talk about it.
All right.
I've conducted the study in Whole Foods parking lot. Now, here's what I've come up with. If you are 40 years or older and you get out of your car and a car's coming, you stop and you smile and you say, go ahead. That's just what you do.
I will agree with that.
If you're 40, no, this is science.
It's true. Yeah.
If you're 39,99999 or less, you walk right in front of the car. And if you're 27 or less, you hit the hood and you mouth WTF.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Just watch it. Next time you're in the parking lot, look at the ages. Okay, 20, 30, they're going to walk right in front of you, just like a deer in a headlight. If you're over 40, they're going to smile and say, go ahead. Did something change somewhere where cars...
No, I think you changed.
But this is happening. I'm watching it.
Man,
it's scientific.
That stuff happened when we were kids, too. We didn't care. You remember when cars are coming across the street, and the car's kind of doing this thing? We never waited when we were kids.
Maybe you're onto something. I don't like it when you're right and I'm wrong, but I'll go with that because I like that.
I'm going to go with the older you get, you appreciate stuff more.
It's not just me. It's everybody. So
I get it.
Maybe the human mind has...
Yeah, I mean, everybody else is at the same point too, man. When you get 40 plus, I think everybody's just kind of slowed down.
And you realize if you get hit, it's going to hurt. And you're not in as big a hurry as you were 10 years ago.
What's that going to do? I mean, it's an extra second, smile, a wave.
Speaking of getting a little bit older, I was in Costco the other day, and I need vitamins, right? Mm-hmm. So I go to the vitamins, and nowadays they have like 50 kinds of different vitamins. And I'm looking, and all of a sudden I said silver. And I'm like, silver? Yeah, I'm probably not ready for silver yet, but I wonder if it has an age range, right? So I grab the bottle of silver, and I'm looking at the back and reading it, and I'm like, it's a really small print. I can't read it. So I get my glasses. My glasses aren't here. And now I'm frustrated. I can't find my glasses. And I'm like, Jesus, if you can't find your glasses to read the damn print, you can't read, just buy it. So I put it in the cart, and away I went. So now I know I have silver vitamins.
You think the silver ones would have the bigger print, at least that way you'd know.
You would think that...
Is that the caller?
No, that's spam. Oh. Anyway, but I'll take spam next time.
Next time we're answering that call.
You would think silver would have the large print, but maybe that's how they get you to buy it. You just get so frustrated. And I was the guy that did it like this, and I just threw it in the basket. But I am not.
You look good, so I think they're working.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a glow. It's the silver, the vitamins that I'm taking. So let's dial back to when I was about 32.
Yeah, let's talk about Brazil. Meet the parents. So had you met the parents before?
No. So I had met a Brazilian girl, fell in love with her.
You're getting married.
And everything was let's just fast forward to time to go to Brazil to meet the parents.
All right? So you're engaged?
Engaged.
Okay.
Right.
I'm just trying to get my head straight.
She was expecting and she lost her baby. That was a whole bad scene.
Yeah, terrible.
But anyway, we go to Brazil. And I'm secretly smoking, which I did most of my life. I don't anymore. But,
secretly with her too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she did not like smoking. But for some reason in Brazil, they like those nasty clove cigarettes.
Okay,
which was a godsend, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. But anyway, I get to Brazil, and I hadn't slept in it's a horrible flight, 12 hours. And we meet the mom and dad. Mom loves me. I'm good with moms. Dad, not so much.
Well, you're marrying her kid.
Well, plus I'm a little bit older than she is, and not a lot, but enough to where he's like... I said I was 37. He thought I said 27. He goes, 27? I said, 27, 37, what's the difference? And he started laughing, and that's what broke the ice. But anyway, they lived in Manaus, which is in the jungle. The jungle. This is where David Lee Roth went, and down the Amazon River. So we're on the boat. He has this huge boat. Something's not right, because it's feast or famine in Brazil. You either sell cocaine or you live in mud.
Okay.
Right? Or make TVs like the father did. But... the uncle was something. Anyway, so we're out in the boat. We're out in this huge boat, and he has a couple of wet bikes, jet skis. And they were like his children to him.
Yeah, these are like the prehistoric jet skis, right?
No, they were brand new.
At the time they were. Yeah, okay.
But you can't get the parts. You can't get them in Brazil.
Yeah,
so they're his babies, right?
Yep.
So I'm half with it. I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you. So we take off in the Amazon on our jet skis. He goes one way, I go the other way, and I'm going as fast as it'll go because that's what I do. And there's an island, and there's a palm tree that went out like that. And I didn't know that they don't turn when you turn them. You have to lean, and slowly you'll get there after a bit. But I went smashing right into the palm tree.
So how Amazon is this?
This is a kid had a loincloth and ran from the... And there's monkeys. The monkeys try to take your stuff. So I kind of come to, and I'm in the water, and I'm blood everywhere, right? And I'm looking at the wet bike, and the controls, the oil pressure and everything, they're just hanging off wires, and I'm just busted up. My Ray-Bans are at the bottom of the Amazon, and that really made me mad. They're still there, by the way. I could probably find them.
How are you busted up?
I'm not well. I have a cracked clavicle. I'm bloody everywhere, and there's piranhas in their Amazon River.
Their waters, yeah.
So I'm worried about that. So I crawl up on the wet bike, and it's about 30 minutes I'm sitting there because I'm off the beaten path. And finally I hear a hum, and here I see him coming. So first thing he sees is his bike, and he starts screaming in Portuguese. And
that's
I'm
his
like,
baby.
Dude, look at me. So if that would have happened here in Santa Barbara, an ambulance would have taken me to Cottage. I would have spent the night for observation, and they would have sent me on my way the next day, right, with some painkillers.
You would have got like a Wetzel's pretzel on the way, and
something. But you know what happened here? Nothing. So we get back to the boat, and they washed the blood off, which was kind of them, and then everything was a party. And back then, camcorders were pretty new, so everything was being filmed. So if you look, the film's somewhere where everybody's doing the zamba, bamba, everybody dancing around like a bunch of Aborigines, and all of a sudden I'm sitting in the corner just shaking, like I'm in shock.
Oh.
And I'm holding my shoulder, and finally the next day, I'm like, do you think maybe we could go to a doctor or something? And they brought me to, the father worked at a TV manufacturing outfit, right? Still a little worried about that. That was a front, I think. But we went there, and some lady brought me into a room, took a brown bottle, something from World War I, and unscrewed it, and there was a little round cotton ball with purple, iodine on it.
Yep.
And they iodined me from head to toe, and that was...
Couple prayers and sent you on your way?
That was as much a hospital help that I got. But later, a day or two later, we went to a dinner party, and we see a guy at the end of the thing. He looked just like Joe Pesci. I mean, he looked more like Joe Pesci than Joe looks. He's sitting back going, eh. So we go over there, talk to him, and later on, my then girlfriend said, my uncle wants us to visit him at his house before we go to Rio, because we're going to Rio in a few days. And I'm like, all right. I said, you realize what your uncle does, don't you? And she goes, no, we don't. They don't talk about it. So we're driving to his house, and it's literal mud road and mud huts and haystacks and houses.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's some lights, and we see a building on stilts, and there's a bunch of American cars like a Jeep Grand Cherokees and Chrysler Sebring convertibles that are gold, because American cars.
Yeah, there's no Jeep dealer in...
No, everything's shipped over. So we walk in, and I remember seeing in the basement Harman Kardon stereos as far as the eyes can see on granite countertops. This is the basement. And we get upstairs, and there's maids running around, and he's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm just like, oh, my God. So we got through that, and then it was time to go. And I wanted to stay, the Copacabana, the big hotels right on the Rio Beach.
Yeah.
I'm still hurting, and all I can think about is getting in one of those hotels. And she said, no, my aunt is giving us her apartment. I'm like, I don't want your aunt's apartment. I want a big, huge hotel. She goes, no, Ben, this culture is we have to accept that. I'll tell you why later. So we go there, and it's a little tiny apartment in the middle of the hustle and bustle of Rio. No AC.
Aunt staying with you?
Aunt left, but it's still a one bedroom. And I'm hurting, and there's no AC.
No doctor, no AC, no pain.
No fun whatsoever. And
your dream
the
vacation.
One thing that I did want to do is if you know anything about Rio, there's a side of the mountain that's all slums, and it's like one of the nicest piece of real estate in the world. But slums are on top of it.
Yeah, it's just stairs upon stairs.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen it in the movies.
Right, and I wanted to go there. That's all I wanted to do. It's like when I was a kid and I wanted to go to jail. When I'm in Rio, all I want to do is go to the slums.
Okay.
So we got within a few blocks. She couldn't take us any further. But anyway, and I'm trying to get a cigarette, right? So I know I could get up in the morning and I would suck like 2 or 3 down really fast, because you need to get right? It's not like being hooked on heroin. I mean, in the mornings you need to get right.
You got to equalize.
Got to get even,
that morning cigarette.
And then I fire up a clove, to hide the smell. And now she looks like, she goes, "You're smoking cloves in the morning?" I'm like, "You said cloves were fine." She goes, "No. If you're at a party, they're fine." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know what you meant."
Oh dear.
Oh, I'll have to figure something out. So listen to this. So it's time to go home, and we go to the airport, and people are really running around looking funny. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, I forgot to tell you. When I'm in Rio, I'm all busted up, and we're waiting at a red light. It turns green. I start walking, and all of a sudden, my girlfriend yanks me back. And I'm just like, what the heck? A motorcycle doing about 100 goes, right? Yeah. Oh, it would have been ugly. But we get to the airport, and something's wrong. Something just happened. And one of the guys at the security was holding up a bullet that had been shot, and he goes, "Hey, look at this one." Well, apparently they just robbed the armored car people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like a half an hour before that. I'm like, why don't they call the cops? And they said, we think the cops did it. And I'm like, we got to get out of here, man.
Whoops.
Yeah, so that's Brazil.
Yeah.
So
time to go.
I didn't mention before.
Did you do anything fun while you were there?
Absolutely nothing. No, staying in the slums was the most fun I had.
Wow. How were the slums? Like, what's the slums like?
Well, I've since seen a documentary on them. It's pretty interesting. I'm glad you asked that, because each little group, there's like 4 or 5 families, and they're all criminals. but
they're all doing what it takes.
This is what they do, right? One guy has a net, and he goes down, and his job during the daytime is come back with a couple of fish, or don't come back. So he goes down and does that. This other guy's job is to go down and steal some milk, And this other guy's come back with some bread somehow. So everybody has their own job. So by the end of the day, everybody eats.
All right.
And that's
yeah,
what
it's a
they
village
do.
thing. Yeah. I guess where that's the whole takes a village thing came from.
That could be. But
in the slums of Brazil.
Isn't that interesting? I was thinking as a kid, I wanted to see the prisoners, and I just wanted to go eat dinner with the people.
So is there any slums or anything you want to see now? What's next? You've seen jail.
No, you know what? I want to
slums.
stay in some English manners. I'm ready for the castles now. I've done that. I'm ready for this, and I'm gonna focus on that in the next few months. I'm gonna go over there and.
I definitely want to hear about that. Yeah.
I want to get back to real quick. Before we went to Brazil, the brother was over here visiting, and he said, hey, I need to stay at your house a couple of days because I need a place to stay. Well, this is Santa Barbara. You can find a place to stay in about 4 seconds, right? Everybody has a room
for about
$1,000,
you can get a
room.
corner in a garage.
A closet.
Next to something. Yeah.
Right. So 3-4 days later, he's still living at our house, and we're leaving to Brazil the next day. And I'm like, tell your... So she said, well, he needs 2 more days after we leave, and then he'll be gone. So we come back. I'm pretty shaken up. 2 weeks of this hell. Sneaking cigarettes and broken bones and just not.
Have you had any medical treatment at this point? So you're just all busted up.
I prayed a lot, I think that helped heal the broken bones. But anyway, we get back at 3 a.m. 2 weeks later, and I walk in and the TV's on, and I look over and I hear the guy go, and I look over and he's lying on my couch in boxers, and he's so happy to see us. And then I went in the back. I told so and so, come here for a minute to her. And I said, come on back here a minute. I need you to do me a favor. You need because I'm ready to explode, right? I remember I'm the house burning guy, right?
Yeah.
So I
with
said,
a broken shoulder.
Right. I said, you need to go tell your brother to get his stuff and get out right now. Right now. Not, but Benny, it'll be morning in 3 or 4 hours. Right now. So I heard the door slam, and sure enough, she did. I give her credit for that. But then the next day, I think I mentioned this before, the table, I had a big, huge stone coffee table, a big, huge carpet.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I walk out in my living room. Finally, I'm home, thank God. And I'm like, why's the table moved over here? So I move it back, and I see it's covering this huge bleach, the size of Africa. It looked like Africa. And I'm like, hey, so-and-so, do you want to ask your brother in the next day or two what happened here? And she goes, oh, yeah, I'll ask him. I'm like, yeah, do.
I'm pretty sure I know what happened.
Well, I know the guy didn't have any money, so I knew what eventually would happen anyway. But I just wanted someone to just own up to something.
Just acknowledge it. Yeah, hey, sorry, bro.
So that night, she goes, oh, I talked to my brother about the stain. Yeah, he doesn't know what happened. And I'm like, and you're good with that? That's a story you're going to stay with? And yeah, he's my brother. That's what he said. And that's what I knew, that it was all over.
Yeah, I'm sure she's still living with him.
God, I don't know what happened to him, the poor guy. I don't think he was all there. But anyway, he's probably back in Brazil, and I haven't heard a boo from her. I think last I heard she was like living in Miami or something like that. But
any plans to return to Brazil?
Oh God, no, never. That's nice about having gone there. I don't ever have to go back.
Yeah.
No, it's a different world now. I mean, that was early 2000s. Nowadays, they'll just. The economy is so bad in Brazil right now, they'll just snatch you right up.
Yeah, I remember during the Olympics it was real bad. Like, didn't they have all sorts of stuff going on over there?
Yeah, and nobody wanted to go.
Right.
So I don't know what happened with that. Did they actually have the games over there?
They did. I think they almost like incentivized people to go, or like I don't remember. I don't remember enough about it, but I remember they almost incentivized athletes to go.
There was a movie called Tourista that if you haven't seen, you need to see it, and it's a true story. And when it first came out, Brazil, the tourism people, they shot it down. They pulled it.
Yeah, I bet they didn't like it.
So what it is, it shows about a bunch of college kids, American kids, girls and guys, and they fly over there summer break or whatever.
Yeah,
and they
have some fun.
Brazil's beautiful. I mean, I went to a place called Buzios and stayed there for a week. It was a beautiful private beach. A lot of little places like that. But these kids go and they party with the locals, right? And they slip something in their drinks, and the next thing you know, it's the next day, and the girl wakes up. Tourista, the movie, got to watch it. So the next day she wakes up and she sees she's been stitched from the front to the back.
Oh, the old kidney.
They're harvesting.
Whatever,
there's a lot of cartel down there. Yeah. And if their kid needs a kidney, they want an American person's kidney because they know it's been maintained well. With good food and everything until now. So now
she's hanging out, having drinks. Guy's like, hey, what's your name? What's your blood type?
Yeah. I think they go to sleep and then they check all that out. But then
it's
they
a whole
wake
different
up,
pickup line.
And they have that, and half of them live and half of them die, but they're just left there, and somehow,
I bet the cartel kid, he makes it.
Look, Timmy's doing fine.
Yeah.
He's got the iodine on. And,
Yeah, he's got the purple stuff.
yeah,
He's all right.
the girls on the beach don't even have the iodine. But that and the stories that I've heard as far as they show you film if you go there now. Mexico too. It shows you if a van pulls up what you're supposed to do. All these little things.
Run.
Like, listen to this. So here, this is a PSA right now. You've heard it from Ben Ferguson. What they do is they take an egg, and if you're driving and you come up to a stop sign, they'll throw the egg on your windshield.
All right, now you got to stop. I'm with you.
Well, then you take off, but everybody automatically turns the wipers on, and that makes it so it's absolutely impossible to see, and then they have to pull over. So if somebody throws an egg on your windshield, do not turn the wipers on. Get out of there.
Keep going.
Isn't that something? The first thing everybody does is hit the thing, and it just smears it so you can't see
that's
anything.
instinct.
And then you have to stop, and then you get taken to a bad place with a hood on your head.
You hear about all sorts of horrible things out there.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think. I remember I went to Mexico, and I was a college kid, and we were drinking, we were causing a muck, but I was with a few guys, and just went to lunch with one of the guys that was with us, and I was 21, and we were all drunk, and we were all not behaving perfectly.
Yeah, acting like 21-year-old American kids in Mexico.
Right, and I happened to have the bottle of tequila in my hand when the federale came up, and he grabbed me and said, "We're going to prison," and I'm like, I can't go to prison here in Mexico. Yeah. So my other friend said, Peter said, "How much money do you need to let him go?" And he says, $25. And I think between the three of us, we had just spent everything. And I remember the guy my friend I had lunch with, he had a $5 bill. He goes, "It's my $5, but it's my last $5. I'm like, dude, I'm about to go to a federal prison. So we ended up having like $15. And my other friend was smart enough to just stuff it in the guy's pocket and grab me. And we walked the other way, and he started walking the other way.
I had the Mexico almost went to jail story similar to that.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. So this is like right after 9/11. I'm working like at LAX, right? And we'd get off really late and odd times. And hey, I was just casually joking because someone used to always say, "Hey, when are we going to TJ? When are we going to
road
TJ?"
trip,
right? I'm like 18. Hey, when are we going to TJ? Everybody's like, "How about tonight?" And these are like guys that go all the time. So I'm like, yeah, how about tonight? Well, guess what? We're actually going now. So we get off of like a 10-hour shift throwing suitcases. So, I mean, you're a disaster. No money in between all of it. We were 18 years old. We're making like $9 an hour, and that was good money or whatever, if it was even that much. And we head down to Mexico. Well, I buy a round. I put $50 on the bar. Get a round of shots for the boys and a round of beers. And we turned around to do our shots, and someone had walked in behind me and grabbed my change, and out the door they went. So I went after them.
Girl, did you see?
A gal. Yeah.
Really?
Like, I'm guessing like girl of the night or borderline, or like there's definitely something gamey there. She's out the door. Well, I go after her just real casually. She's standing right outside. I just said, "Hey." And she turned around. I grabbed the money. She didn't like fight me or nothing. She just kind of
grabbed it out of her hand?
Yeah, just grabbed it out of her hand, and she was real kind of casual about it. And I noticed as I turned around, there was like a federale guy standing there with a big old revolver.
So she goes to him and says, "You just been robbed."
Well, I go back into the bar, right? And my buddy goes, "Where'd you go?" I'm like, "I went to get my money back." And he goes, "You didn't go outside with that beer, did you?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Oh, dude, you're going to jail." And right there, 3 cops walk in.
Did they say that did she complain that you robbed him or no?
No, what they said was I was like drinking in public or whatever.
Oof.
So yeah, I remember like whatever that change was, I had to
get
give
out
up.
Oh yeah,
yeah, whatever it was.
So the money was gone. Huh?
Yeah, the money was gone. I think I had to bum like $10 off something, and I was super lucky because my Spanish was horrible. It was not like it was good enough to order tacos. It wasn't good enough to get myself out of jail. Like it wasn't at that level.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember being on a cruise ship one time, and they stopped at Ensenada, and you go to Senor Frog's, which is kind of
upstairs. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, those tiny, narrow. Yeah, I know
and
exactly
I had
what
a
you mean.
"Just Do Me" T-shirt on, and a sombrero, and I just thought I was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, you don't look like a tourist at all.
Yeah. So I'm in there, and my friend, the guy that I went with, because I won the trip at work, so my roommate and I went, and he goes, "Hey, I'm sitting now. This is getting a little racy," but he goes, "Hey, I'm sitting with this girl, and she'll lift your shirt up if you want her to." I'm like, "What?" Baloney. And he goes, no, she will. And they were Caucasian girls. Something didn't make any sense. So he goes, hey, lift your shirt up for my friend. Boom. And I'm like, good God. And I'm thinking, wow, this is trippy.
Mexico's the best place in the world.
They lived in Ensenada. So we're talking to him, and I don't have any money, right? And my beer has this much left, and her beer is full. So I'm gonna try to be slick because I'm pretty slick, right? I'm gonna reach over and grab her beer and pretend I think it was mine. So I grab her beer and I look, and I put it down, and all of a sudden, before I put that beer down, she close fist, I mean, she just punched me in the face as hard as she could. I'm like, Jesus! And she goes, "Don't touch my beer," and I'm like, God.
Yeah, you knew she was local then, man. She was a local gal.
Maybe I deserved that. I'm not sure, but that was my trip. So there was one other time I went that time, and that's when we were drinking, right? Then I got sober, and I went another time. When I was sober, everybody went to the same bar, and I thought, you know what? A friend of mine that was there, he didn't drink either, and I said, let's go get some fireworks. So we go to a drugstore, and we asked where to get it, and some guy said, any store has it. So we went to a drugstore and said, do you have fireworks? And they took out a big plastic tub, and we bought all kinds of stuff. Now, this is my luck. So I buy all the stuff, and we pay $1 or $2 to a taxi. It brings us to the beach. I light this rocket, right? We're kind of scared, but I light the rocket, and I swear to God, this is true. And it shoots up, and it starts going sideways, and we look over it, and we see a Federale driving.
Oh.
And, I mean, you couldn't have planned this better. And the thing, here's the Federale, here's the rocket. It goes like this. It blows up right above the cop car. We're like, Jesus. Oh. And the lights come on, and then they went back off, and it kept going on. But
yes, I don't know. That's like normal in Mexico, though, man.
I'm sure they may have had plans for us if they knew that we were shooting the fireworks.
I remember like a kid offering to sell me chiclets, and we said no, and they like threw firecrackers at us.
I remember the chiclets guy. There's this one kid, and I have a picture of him somewhere. Little dirty kid, hadn't had a bath in a while. Cute kid, right? 10 years old. He comes up to me. These chiclet kids over here, he comes up, he goes, you want to buy a rock? I'm like, a rock? And he shows me a rock, and I'm like, how much
like a painted rock
or
something?
No, a rock that he just picked up. The kid didn't have anything.
I love this kid.
So I bought the rock from him. I said, I'll buy the rock for $1 if you take a picture with me. And I still have, I ran into that picture a while back, but that was cool.
How did you not bring that kid back?
I would have probably gotten in trouble if I brought a 10-year-old boy on a boat. But anyway, I bought a bunch of chiclets from everybody else. And then my friend was at all these little restaurants. They have all these fish stands, right? And my fun was buying a rock from a kid and buying chiclets and giving them out, right?
Yeah.
He goes, I'm going to try to get 5 tacos for $1. I'm like, dude, I think it was 3 for $1. But they're pretty much telling them to gringo, get out of here.
Yeah.
Man. And finally, and I don't know what you're going to get, but finally he got some family to go for the 5 tacos. And he said, no, I have no idea what's in the taco But that was like, God, man, why just give the guy $1 and take your 3 tacos? No, I'm going to get 5, man. That was his mark.
I remember being in Ensenada, way too many drinks in you, and you got to head back to the boat, and you got to use the restroom because you've been drinking beers all day, and you're like, oh God, you go into a restaurant, baño, please, and they're like, it's not free, and you're like, well, what if I buy a beer? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Well, how much is a beer? 85 cents. Done. But now you're drinking again. I mean, it was like this nonstop cycle. And then you get back to the boat. I'm like 18, so you're not even allowed to drink in the States. We got back to that boat hammered.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever go back. They have all these, a lot of Hilton, a lot of places are buying these resorts.
Yeah, the resorts, like
right,
all-inclusive kind of deal.
Do not leave the resort. I don't think I want to do that.
It's just not for me, man. I know a lot of people love the place and all that. And, if you got family there, maybe you got your own inns or whatever. I don't, so I'm not that guy.
We live in Santa Barbara. We don't need to go anywhere. We just need to go downtown, look at the palm trees. We've got about 30 seconds left. Once again, thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to our show. I'm going to read the phone number is 747-292-0553. Don't forget to watch us live on at 12 o'clock on
YouTube.
Halloween. On Halloween.
Yeah.